them up. These are labeled with RA for right arm, LA for left arm, and LL for left leg, which you usually put right here underneath the left side, or wherever you can find a spot. So you can see it takes a few minutes to boot up. We'd like to request, everybody likes to put stickers here. Please don't do that, it's ruining our machine. I mean, it doesn't come off. So find a better place to put your stickers. Huh? And honestly, if you upload the patient from the lab before you leave, you'll already have all the patient information in here, so you won't need that. All right, so the machine's booted up. First thing you need to do is get the patient's name in there before you start your exam. So if somebody wants to come over, if y'all want to come over here and find the button that says patient, that's your first step after booting up.
What was that?
The button that says patient. There we go. So everybody see that? And somebody go ahead and push it.
It's your turn, Danny.
Now it's going to ask us to log in. There really is no login here, so you just have to find the log on button. And the set button is going to be the button that you're going to push. That's kind of like your enter button. So if somebody wants to put in set, that's going to log you on.
This is important. First time when I booted this, I thought there's some username, password. I kept on fiddling, nothing happened. I could not scan. I used the emergency mode. So it's important there's no password. You just click login, it logs you in.
Right, exactly. So don't overcomplicate it. And it brings you up to the screen that's asking to create a new patient, bring up a patient list, end exam,
Exit.
or exit. So we're going to create a new patient to start. So if somebody wants to go up and create a new patient. Do we want to run this management? No. I don't. This is the only machine that does that. This management. I'm not sure why it does that. Be careful here with we got real patients up here.
Okay.
So, anyways.
So those are the ones that we use the machine on. We're gonna store all the patients that.
So it's only the ones that have been saved on.
This is only a
right. These are patients that we've already done here. So,
you mind if I just add in one thing? So what we're doing right now. This is assuming you didn't upload the information from Epic and do the exam.
Right.
So if you're manually entering the patient's name in there, this is the way you would do it.
Right.
I'm just going because these are all the questions I had in my head.
Right. Yeah. So that you could actually manually enter the patient right now. So we're going to try to steer you away from that though, because we want you to upload it from Epic. If you upload it from Epic, then everything's going to flow back to Epic, and you're going to get a report generated.
And this is before I start using it, so I have to log into Epic, upload the patient info, and then I'll find it.
And we'll get into that later today. But for now, we're just going to. We got the machine on. We've created a patient. There's a list down here that gives us several different options, and I'm going to drop down here. If you want to film that.
Yeah, he's not.
Okay, he can film this though. Are you not filming?
I'm filming your hand right
Okay,
no,
film this part right here.
Okay.
So the data flow here allows us to pull up patients from Epic. I'm going to go down to work list here and click on that with the set button. From here you got a folder here. I'm going to click on the folder and make sure it's on ProSolve Epic work list. So this is pulling the patient off Epic right now. It's already on that. Good.
Somebody take notes. Write this down. This is extremely complicated.
It is.
You will forget. So
now on top.
Have someone write the steps down.
Right. And
I'm making a video.
He's making a
So
video.
you know we have
You're gonna watch an hour of video.
we have it written, and I'll pass it on to you guys.
Okay.
We have it written.
All right. Now there's a query button here. We're going to query, and you have to have this plugged into the network. So this has to be plugged into a network cable down in the Echo lab for this to work. And you query it, and that'll bring your patient up. And then from there, you select your patient. There's a select patient right here once you select it, and then you're going to be able to start your exam. Okay? So I'm going to just go ahead and put in a test here so we can move on.
Do you guys get that query?
So
all this is done. I'm just saying this because when I went through it the first
yes,
time,
this will all be done. This is all done in the Echo lab before you come up and do your patient.
So it'll make life much easier, which we'll go through it when you're starting the exam in Epic. Epic has to be communicating with this, so this has to be plugged into the wall and on. So whatever pulls up on the patient list, unless you've queried it, it's basically updating that list. So all your patient information flows over. If it wasn't plugged in, you keep hitting query and your patient's not there, it's because it didn't communicate with anything.
Right, and there's a limited number of ports in this whole building that will do it. So it has to be done either in Echo Lab or CVPAC-U.
Oh, you mean logging into Epic?
And you guys know the room, we'll go through all this,
Okay,
the room,
right.
the code to get in the door.
Right.
So I cannot do it in the CICU and then come to
No.
grab the machine. It has to be in the Echo Lab.
No. And if you do all the Epic stuff before, as Scott was saying, turning this on,
Right.
everything will be there and flow over.
Right, right. And you have to come down and get the machine anyway,
Okay.
so that's the way to do it. Okay, so now I've got the patient. I'm just putting in test and some random numbers. And we're going to select patient. So if somebody wants to hit the select patient button there. So, and you'll see,
Create and
it doesn't like that. You'll see this shape right here corresponds with these. So it says create patient, select patient, clear search, more. I mean, those are going to be corresponding there. I don't know, I must have. It wants to create a new patient, so we'll create. Okay, so now we've got our patient data in up here. We know we're ready to go. We need the EKG cables hooked up so we can actually record. So that's basically how you get started. Now you're ready to scan the patient. Okay. Scan the patient. You're not going to get too far without gel on board. Believe me, I've gone up to the floor more times than I can tell you without gel because we don't. Somebody takes them off for some reason or not. So make sure you have gel and EKG leads with you. It makes your life easier. When you put a little gel on, you can start imaging. It comes up in 2D mode. You know your active mode here because this light right here around here is highlighted. From here you need to know how to capture. So all the machines are a little bit different. This one's really easy. There's a store button right here. And if you want to hit store, somebody can hit store. When you hit store, what it does is it's going to show you your picture. It's not going to save it until you hit store again. So you have to hit it twice. So go ahead and hit it again. Now you stored an image. You know the image is stored because it shows up down here at the bottom of the screen.
You mind if I add something really dumb? If you ever have it on and your probe isn't sensing or picking up the frequencies, unplug it there on the side, right over there, and just plug it back in.
Right, and there's a lift mechanism here it locks and unlocks.
it's not like working.
So the machine is on, but you're not getting anything
So
on
maybe
it. Just unplug that and put it back in there.
This button was it?
And I'm telling you all this by experience, not because I know. It's because I've sat there.
Yeah, it can get loose.
Can we unplug that now?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
This will happen. This will happen. This happens like almost every time.
Can you just pull it up?
It just happens.
And then how much does it record like this? We saved, is it like?
So it's set up to record a one beat loop each time you do it.
Alright.
So it's only going to record one beat at a time. That's why you have it hooked up to the EKG, so it knows how much to record.
I remember, that's okay. One day I think I shadowed one person. If the EKG is not working well, it won't record anything. It was a problem. It wasn't picking. Is it any?
Yeah, I mean, it will record. It just won't record a whole beat. Yeah, I mean, it can get a half beat. It can get 2 beats. I mean, so, and that's one of the challenges. What's nice about this machine is as you record, you can move your left and right marker forward and backwards if you want to make sure you get a whole beat in the cycle. And that's over here with these two toggle buttons. So if you have a bad EKG or you can't get an EKG hooked up, you hit your store and it's going to hit this big of a loop, right? That's probably about a 2-second loop, I'm guessing. You can actually shorten that or lengthen it by hitting this left or right marker here.
And if you want to go back and see the images, I just double click the I stored.
It's actually going to be showing you the image on loop right now.
Okay.
And then if you want to save the image, then you hit store again.
And then go back to the scanning mode. Just
It'll
like
it automatically, when you hit store twice,
It
it'll
goes
go
back
back
to
to
live.
2D.
Okay.
You'll see,
Right.
so you can see this is highlighted actually right here.
Oh, okay.
So if you, it's probably not the greatest, but when you hit store twice, it'll just pop back
And
into
then go
2D.
back. And then if I want to see what I stored, I just
Right.
gonna go and double click it, or
Oh, yeah. So if you want to see what's stored, you
Like
hit this
at the end.
this trackball button right here. It's going to bring up a cursor,
Uh-huh.
and then you can just follow your beats here and double click on that.
and then gonna show.
Or you can hit review, and review's going to show them all.
Okay.
So you have two options there.
Double click on where? Here?
This is your double click button. Set is your enter button on this.
So a suggestion also is, even though you can do everything here, you're probably better off just storing everything. When you get to Synapse, you can edit your images, delete things, do everything there.
Right.
So I usually will just, and then go there and,
The more you get here, the better, typically.
Yeah.
Because you can always, you can always take images away. You can't add images after.
so you're always better off editing.
So it's quantity, not quality?
Well, so,
When you're starting, great. Yeah.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning, yes. It's quantity. You want to actually have.
I spend anything
No,
else.
I think
Put a couple of your own heart in there.
the first time you do it, you're just going to be hitting store, and you can always go back and edit.
So one of the biggest things I see novice sonographers run into is they're like, why can't you get a picture? They put the probe down. It's because their depth isn't right. So you might be too far away to the picture. You might be too far in. Your depth button's right here. And that's just going to allow you to, here I have to unfreeze it. That's going to allow you to either toggle in, toggle out, more or less depth.
See those buttons on the left there, the little hash marks with the yellow? Just look at that if you don't know which way you're going.
This is centimeter?
You see more numbers. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
5 cents?
Yeah, 5 10.
Sorry.
For the most part, I don't think when you're on call you're going to be doing a lot of color flow Doppler or CW or PW. I think occasionally it would be nice to do an M mode, especially for tamponade, because what M mode allows you to do is it allows you to see time and motion at the same time. So, and that's what you want to see is the RV collapsing in diastole or is it collapsing in systole? I mean, you expect it to collapse a little bit in systole, correct? So we're looking for diastolic RV collapse. So to do an M mode, there's really two views that you can do it in: your parasternal long view, and you'll cut through the RV and LV, and you'll see the septum, or you can do it in the subcostals, which is usually a harder image to get. So if you think about it, and if you have a decent image, to do an M mode, you'll hit your cursor button, and then there's an M here for M mode, and that's going to bring on your M mode. And then once you get a decent M mode, you hit the freeze button, and then store. Now you got stored M mode.
When we scan,
Yeah, we'll
like
do that.
one complete echo,
Right.
and then we all play. So I
Yeah.
think that will also include like
Right.
echo.
But this time we had to press freeze, like before
Right.
pressing store.
Correct. You could hit store, but what it's going to do when you hit store is it's going to show the whole M mode go by in a live loop, which nobody really wants to see. You want to see the whole image. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
You said the color.
So 2D again is live because it's green. Color flow. I don't know what the M's for. Mode, yeah, probably. So that brings on your color. And then you have a box that you can move around and get your region of interest where you need it. Questions on that?
We're going to cover this, when we start scanning.
we
you
will.
probably better understand and appreciate it once we start scanning.
All right, so you've done your exam. You're ready to end your exam. That's the next thing that we want to be able to be sure we know how to do. You go back up to the patient button where you started. Somebody wants to hit patient. And you hit end exam.
And then set.
Correct. And it's asking us, do we want to save all of our image? Yes, we do. So go ahead and set that. And it's just going to archive them all onto the hard drive of this machine. And then from there, we need to know how to upload. So maybe go down to
we can go
down to lab and figure out how to do that.
We're going to actually take the machine like you would do in real time. We're going to actually, these images, we'll try to actually float them to Synapse, and then from Synapse to Epic. Okay. And while we do that, I thought not now, but you can actually make a video of doing that because that's a huge challenge.